Hello dear delegates, I hope that you're doing amazing. Well, today I'm going to talk to you about the Model United Nations Rules of Procedure, which is a simplified version of the UN Rules of Procedure. Starting from what the DISEC team is composed of. Well, the DISEC team is composed of three persons: the chairperson, which is me, your director, and the reporter. I'm going to be responsible for giving you, of moderating the debate, of making sure that the rules of procedure are being respected. Your reporter and director will be responsible for assessment of your performance of keeping the speakers list during the moderated and the speaker, and keeping the speaker's time. Well, there's many things for you to learn, but I will essentially focus on a few points, and I expect you to read the guide manual that I have been giving to you and ask any kind of questions if you find anything hard to understand. Well, the first thing that I'll be talking about is your opening speech. Your opening speech is something that you need to prepare before coming to the conference. In it, you will be talking about your country in general, which is something that you probably did in your position paper. But you will have to, trim it in order to make it look more presentable to the audience. You'll present your country, the position of your country in general toward the problem, and what your country have contributed to the problem, to solving the problem if it ever did. Well, before we get to the opening speech, when we get the first thing we do during the conference is that you'll be sitting by alphabetic order, and I'll be doing the roll call, making sure that everyone is present. Then you will be answering by saying that you're present or present and voting. Present means that you can abstain later on. Saying that you're present and voting means that you will not be abstaining during the voting on the resolution paper. After the roll call, we will be opening the speakers list. Now, the speakers list is one of three methods or three forma of debate that we use during the conference. The second being the moderated caucus, and the third being the unmoderated caucus. Well, the speakers list is, in general, just giving your names, according to who raises his hands first, and then you'll be speaking for a limited amount of time, which is 1 to 1.5 minutes. This time is set by the person who first gave the motion of opening the speakers list. We'll get back to the motions later on, and you will have to understand that we will not be doing anything unless someone from the delegates have presented a motion for us to start using the speakers list, or for us to start using the moderated caucus, or for us to start using the unmoderated caucus. Well, so as I said, the speakers list is just a list where everyone is going to speak according to order. Now, the second type, which is the moderated caucus, is a type of debate where we will be discussing a subtopic. I mean, if our topic, in DISEC is terrorism and violence, our subtopic can be the situation in Syria or the refugee crisis in Europe. And during that time, delegates will be asked to give their opinion, or their country's opinion, to be exact, to this certain subtopic. And you can get to more by doing this. This is why speakers list is usually used in the first morning, and then we move to the unmoderated caucus. And when we move to the moderated caucus, and when we move to the moderated caucus, that's when the real work starts to happen. It's when you start to really talk about the issue in depth. Now the third type of debate is the unmoderated caucus. In the unmoderated caucus, you'll be able to leave your place. I will not be responsible for giving this person the right to speak or the other person the right to speak. You will all be able to leave your place, find your allies, and talk about your resolution paper. That is usually what happens in the second day, or at the end of the second day. And these are the three main type of debates. Now, going back to the points and motions, as I said, there's nothing that we can do during the conference unless a delegate of a country raises their placards and asks for us to begin a speakers list. So the motion for that would be, I'll recognize this person who raises his placards, and they would say a motion to start the speakers list for a total of 20 minutes. They have to say the total time, 1 minute each. That's individual time. So during the speakers list, during opening the speakers list, you will have to give a total time and an individual time. The same goes for the moderated caucus, but in addition to in the moderated caucus, you will have to be giving the subtopic. That means if you raise your placards and not given a subtopic, your motion will be denied. Your motion is not going to be accepted by the chair, and it's not going to tell you why. Well, the motions are pretty clear. The second thing is the points. Well, the points, we have 4 points during the MUN. The first one is the point of information. The second is a point of parliament inquiry. The third being a point of personal privilege, and the fourth being a point of order. Now, as I said, if you, for example, raise your placards and gave a motion that have not passed, this motion, I will tell you that this motion did not pass, and you will be wondering why. In this case, you would raise your placards and you ask for a point of parliament inquiry. Parliament inquiry is for you to ask about a procedure, for you to ask about what did you get wrong, or how to do a certain thing. If you don't know how to ask for a motion or how to do a motion for a moderated caucus, so you will raise your placards and you will ask for a point. You will ask for the chair to explain to you why did your motion have been refused, and I will explain to you. Now, the point of personal privilege is when you have something that you want to do. I mean, you want to go to the restroom, or you feel cold and you want them to raise the heat. So this is something that you want to do, and you have to ask for a permission from the chair. The third point is a point of order, is when we think that the chair have done something wrong, have mistakenly omitted your name from the speakers list, or forgot your name from the speakers list, or you think that a delegate has been using the I, referring to himself as an I, and you think that the chair did not notice, so you want to bring this to the attention of the chair. The fourth one is being point of information. Now, the point of information is something that you use in a condition of something else. Well, for example, if a delegate came and gave a speech for 1 minute, and the total time that he has is 1.5 minutes, and he chooses to yield his time to the floor. Yielding your time to the floor means that you will give your time to the floor, meaning that other delegates can ask you questions. In order for them to ask you questions, they will have to raise their placards, ask for a point of information, be recognized by the chair in order for them to ask the question. And then you will be answering them during that time that you have yielded to the floor. So this is point of information. Now, yielding your time can either go to the floor if you want to hear questions, to the chair if you don't want to hear any questions, and to another delegate if it's another ally that you want him to talk more. Remember that you have to always yield your time, even if you don't have any time left. Another thing would be the resolution paper and the amendments, and this is something a little bit complicated, and hopefully I'll be talking to you about it more next week. Me, Nariman, and Amir are gonna organize 2 sessions for you, 2 online sessions, where we're gonna talk to you about the rules of procedure, take your questions, and do a marking session in order to keep you prepared. We will also gonna give you small feedbacks regarding your working paper, what we think you should, you did right, and what we think you should improve. And I hope that you will be able to make it. It will be Tuesday or Friday, and that would be it. Please read your manual, and if you have any more questions, please don't hesitate. The group is yours. If you have any articles or videos that you feel like are good for our topic, please share them in the group. Thank you.